Dirty Boxing Decoded, the top 9 tactics for the street and beyond. Hello Earthlings, Ultraviolet Ronald from the Bronx here, and today we're going to get into Dirty Boxing Decoded, the top 9 tactics for the street and beyond. It's going to be 3 segments, and we're going to start off with that first one, going into understanding where you are. Number 1, fleeing. If you can run from the situation. Do not be brave. You do not need to engage. A lot of brave people end up 6 feet under the ground and they're not able to see your family. I do not want that to be you. If you can avoid this situation entirely, go ahead and do that. Number 2, this is very important. Understanding if this situation is mutual or life or death. Mutual means they consent and you consent. First person gets knocked on the ground, the fight is over. You take the L like a man or a woman, you shake hands and you go home, okay? If it's life or death and they see red, then you're gonna have to do whatever is necessary for you to go back to your family. And when I mean necessary, I mean necessary. But there are ramifications for that, and sadly, you can go to jail for life, even for self-defense. So you gotta know what you're doing in that type of situation. Number 3, reading the room. Do not let tunnel vision take over and all you see is that person and no one else. Because if tunnel vision takes over and you're not paying attention to your surroundings, you can get hit by something randomly and then you're down on the ground and you're possibly saying hi to the person above. Or you can get jumped and have a savage beat and just unload and just taking over you, and you have to go home with that. And that's not something you want to go home with. It's going to sit very uncomfortable with you. So you got to read the room. Part 2, understanding what to do when a physical altercation arises. Your first line of defense is your footwork. So I'm square with you. I'm stepping back with my right foot if I'm conventional. If I'm southpaw, I'm stepping back with my left foot. All right, I'm conventional, so I'm gonna step back with my right foot. You don't want to be bladed. You want to have your right foot right outside that left foot. Both feet in about a 45-degree angle, but this is going to be slightly more 90. And you're going to turn your arms forward. You're going to tuck that chin, slightly bend those knees. And you're going to have that posture straight, ready for whatever's going to come your way. Now, you want to keep your hands open, okay? Because remember, your first line of defense is your footwork. You can use your hands as a rangefinder to step back and to get out of the way. But you want to get used to these 4 movements, okay? To step right, you want to push off that front foot and then step with that right foot. To step left, you want to push off that back foot and then step with that left foot. To go forward, you want to push off the back foot and step with that front foot. To go back, you want to push off that back foot and push off that front foot and step with that back foot. All right, you want to practice the 4 square movement as often as you can, because your footwork is your first line of defense. So if your footwork is not there, everything else is going to crumble because you're going to stumble over your feet. You're going to get all crossed up and your movements or the punches you're trying to set up. And by doing that, you're going to be thrown out of your game. You can get clipped and potentially knocked out. So focus on footwork as much as possible. Number 2 from this is offense. Now, offense in the street fight. You have to think about the consequences. I don't care what anybody says. This is not about that is sanctioned in the ring. The commissions are not around this. This is a street fight. Remember, if it's mutual or if it's life or death, you have to understand what can arise from that situation. Jail, another person passing away, and then their family, thinking about your family. But depending on what it is, if it's life or death, I know you're gonna wanna try to end that person, whatever, but sometimes going to the head creates that swishing of the brain effect. That person gets knocked around, they hit the back of the head on the pavement, and they don't wake back up again, or they be put into a coma for 2 months and then they don't wake up again. You do not want that to happen because you could potentially serve 20 or 25 years to life. So if you can avoid that, do what 99.9% of most people do not do when they get into a street fight. Go for the body, but you have to keep your guard tight. You can't do a normal boxing guard when you're in a street fight. You can't just go like this. That's not gonna work, okay? It's not gonna work because punches, especially just with your hand and no gloves on, will slip through. So if I'm blocking to the left, I gotta actually go with the punch and roll with it, okay? The cool thing is by rolling with the punch and having your elbow out, that elbow could hit them. And that can slice their head open and potentially end the fight right there. But by you going with it, you want to come back, all right? Going into the offense. You want to go defense, offense. And then, boom, right hook, okay? But remember, you do not want to go to the head. So it's right hook, bam, to the body, all right? I'm catching here, left hook to the body, and right back, keeping those hands up high. Because you can also parry, but if you parry, you have to really use your arm force against that punch and meet it in the middle. That's how you stop that force coming at you. And at the same time, they're going to drop their arms and it's going to leave everything open. But footwork in tandem with offense and defense. You do not want to try to knock him out. You just want to stop the threat. Stop the threat. The jab is the best punch. It is the most important punch for a reason. You throw that finger jab out there, that's going to do more than enough damage. I'm here, my hands are up, ready to protect myself. Bah! Finger jab. Or I could just be to myself and they don't even see it coming. Boom, just like that. That's going to take their eyes out. They're going to be blinded and not going to be able to see. And it's going to end the fight right there and you can flee. Remember, you want to be able to go back home and see your family for another day. No need to pass away from something stupid. So if you could finger jab. And then from the finger jab, solar plex punch. If you hit them in the solar plex, they're out for the count. I don't care what anybody says. Or if you're coming in with your guard here, okay, you're gonna have to block your whole head. If you're coming in with your guard here and then come with that left hook, and then that left hook to the body, that's gonna take them out. I know my blocks look very funny, but you have to remember in a street fight, if you just block normally, punches are gonna slip through. So you have to over-exaggerate to protect your cranium. That's just how it is. I know it seems funny, but that's the truth. Or you could do something that's unorthodox that you probably don't really see people do. I've done it. I have people in my family have done it and it works very effectively. You can punch them in the thigh. They will not see that. You can throw your arm out here like this. Bam! Punch them right on the inside of the thigh. They're going down. That pain is going to be mind-boggling. You're not going to even know what to think or what to do in that situation. Because first off, you punch me in the leg, it's going to throw them completely off. They're on the ground. You can run away and live another day. That is very important. So again, key thing, you want to understand footwork, stepping to the left, stepping back, forward, stepping to the right, and always keeping those hands up high. Most people in a street fight go for the head. So if you keep that in mind and you have that guard ready, you'll be good to go. This guard here works. This right here works. But when you do this, you want to make sure to come with a counter. Same here, come with a counter, depending on what it is that they're doing. I know it looks a little weird, but you can implement karate blocks, the 52 block system with the normal boxing into a street fight. Because remember, this is dirty boxing tactics. You're not doing clean boxing. Sometimes that could work in a street fight, but you're more than likely can break your hand. It's very easy for you to break your hand, especially punching the skull. Plus the ramifications behind that, if the person ends up on the ground and they're not responsive, you can go to jail for life. I do not want that to be you. So if you can go for the body, go for the body. Most people do not expect kidney shots, okay? So if I'm moving and my head is there, bam, and then step back out of range, that left hook to the liver, they're down. That cross to the solar plexus, they're down. But you want to make sure that technique is on point to maximize the power. Do not just throw it out there. Do not swing recklessly. Do not be that person, because you leave yourself open for anything to come your way. All right, so remember that. You got to do footwork first, practice footwork, and behind the footwork, you add your punches. All right, behind the footwork, you add your punches, because then everything will become easier from here. And you keep your guard up, because most people do not go for the body, they go for the head. Now, number 3, conditioning your body for the fight of your life. Now, number 1 is cardio. You have to be able to try to do 20 to 30 minutes of cardio daily or every other day at least, with medium to high intensity. Meaning you can do jump roping, cycling, running, boxing, right? Any martial art, anything that you can do, try to get that heart rate up. This is the muscle where you want to focus on the most, because this will be the difference between you gassing out and you being laid out because your gas tank is low. I do not want that to be you. So you have to focus on your heart health. You got to get that cardio in. I know a lot of people hate cardio, but you have to get that cardio in. Number 2, strength training. Try to do 50 to 100 push-ups every night before bed, upon waking up, or throughout the day. Each time you do it to failure. And then let that lactic acid alleviate from the muscle. You come back to it in between a commercial. When you go into the bathroom, if you're in school, out of nowhere outside, just randomly do it at a stoplight if you're walking. As soon as you get out of your car, just drop 10 to 20 push-ups. Do push-ups as often as you can to build that upper body strength. That will be the difference between you having that power to finish the fight quickly or you asking, please don't hurt me. I do not want you to beg for mercy. I do not want you to be that person. And then from the push-ups, you can do pull-ups. All right, work your way up into 10. If you can't perform 2 or 3 pull-ups, from the 10, go into 20 and try to perform 50 pull-ups a day. I'll say 30 to 50 pull-ups a day is more than enough to really build that strength up, or work on it every other day. All right, if you feel like you need that rest, especially starting out and you're a beginner, go into those pull-ups at least 30 to 50 every other day or every day, whichever is appropriate for you. Now with the legs is a lot more forgiving. It can take a lot more than the upper body. So with the legs, you're gonna have to work a little bit harder. You're gonna have to do about 200 to 300 squats every single day or every other day. All right, now remember, the thing about growing is time under tension, having different variables in the mix to make it a little bit harder, especially if you already acquired that strength to go beyond that threshold. So say if you're going normal speed when you're doing the squats, right? Then you're gonna have to go slower. Or you're gonna have to pulse it 2 to 3 seconds and then back up. But by switching it, that's how you increase your leg strength and the mobility in your hip flexors. And then from here, once you have those 3 things, or if you can weight train, go for that. But you have those 3 things in play, you will build the strong body that's necessary to withstand whatever it is in front of you, because you want to have a strong body. That cardio plays into it, and then that conditioning from the actual strength training plays into it as well. And planks are also excellent for building this armor of steel, which is your core. Now, number 3, the mind. This is the last thing. This is the most important. A great book to read for that is The Custom Model Mindset. If you really dive into that book and see what Cus D'Amato was talking about and the mindset he put and instilled in Mike Tyson, you see why he was so ferocious and just that he had that strong desire to win at the beginning of his career before sadly Cus passed away. But Cus D'Amato Mindset is a great book. The 48 Laws of Power, knowing what to say and what not to say in a situation, making people believe that you're one way and you're not, and The Art of War. Those 3 books right there will put you in the right frame of mind to just soar, go in the stratosphere and beyond to the moon, and take whatever it is and where you are in your life to the next level. Hopefully this helped you. Practice as much as you can. Think about the things I shared with you today. Take your time, have fun while doing it, because it makes it all that much easy. Thank you for joining me on this journey to Scale Ultraviolet. And if you liked the video, please comment and subscribe, and always work towards becoming your greatest version.